it has been a long and intense day of campaigning, and finally we have the man who of course is trying to make his mark felt yet again in the state of Andhra Pradesh, something that he actually was able to conceive very early. We're joined by Chandrababu Naidu as we speak to him about the elections ahead. Sir, you are speaking about changing the future for Andhra Pradesh. This time around, what is there in your mind? Because you've been quite a visionary. You spoke about the IT hub, you spoke about the development. What are you thinking for the people of Andhra Pradesh this time?
For the last 5 years, we are suffering a lot. One is bifurcation. Because of bifurcation, always we fought. It is not a scientific way, or justice has not been to Andhra Pradesh. 5 years I worked very hard. You know my track record. In Telangana, that is a combined Andhra Pradesh, I was able to develop Hyderabad and also very strong foundation for IT. Because of that, all over the world now Telugu community is doing extremely well.
Sir, would you feel that the people of Andhra Pradesh will feel cheated? You made a very emotional call to walk out of the NDA alliance because you wanted the special status. Jagan Mohan Reddy has spoken about it, but it has still not been delivered for the people of Andhra Pradesh. Do you think the people of Andhra Pradesh feel cheated?
I don't want to say cheated. Issue is, I was very sensitive and more responsive. And at the time, I was in the opinion, if they won't give special status, even Jagan Mohan Reddy will exploit. Our people are very, very sensitive. Because of bifurcation, Congress lost its total stake in Andhra Pradesh. If we can go through after independence, so many elections they have won. Up to Telugu Desam, only Congress. After Telugu Desam, I can say equal, one time we will win, one time they will win, sometimes more we have won. So I was very, very panic about special status. I couldn't get it, then I deferred. But people didn't bother about all these things. So we lost elections. Compared to bifurcation, Jagan Mohan Reddy did more harm to the state of Andhra Pradesh.
So you have been part of a regime, where of course even if you were political opponents, but there was some mutual respect, there was some line which did not really cross. Do you think that there is a lot of personal animosity between Jagan Mohan Reddy and you? It's very personal, it's very targeted?
It is not personal animosity. Who is he? Why should I have? Even much earlier his father, I became chief minister. So he is a typical personality. He wants to destroy dissent voice at all, and also he wants to deal with or suppress all political parties, either social activists or public or political leaders or political activists. That is how he is behaving.
But he has been saying that he got you punished because you were very corrupt and you were the most corrupt chief minister. That's the reason he decided to get you jailed. Will you also at some point in time think that he probably is also corrupt? Would you want to take revenge if you come back?
What I am saying, so far nobody can blame me that I am corrupt. As on today, for the last 45 years, I have contributed so many things for this great nation. My integrity, nobody can suspect. No inquiry at any time. Even my political opponents wanted to create some problem. They couldn't do that. Even Rajshekhar Reddy went to up to Supreme Court every election. Even they passed some strictures. Where is the evidence? Why you have come? Whenever there is election, mudslinging is not correct. Don't come. That is how they dismiss in all cases. This fellow, there is no case, nothing. He manipulated all these things and without informing me, without giving any notice, he arrested me.
Also the fact that, sir, there are several issues as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned which are still not known. Now you spoke about Amravati being the capital of the state. We do not really know because he has been, the present day chief minister has been speaking about having 3 capitals. Can Andhra afford to have 3 capitals? What is the logic?
There is no logic. Something I start, they want to destroy. Everything, what I started, I completed, nearing completion also. He has done all these things. One example I am giving. I started high-tech city. I conceived the project of outer ring road. Almost all blueprints, everything I prepared for international airport, even Genome Valley. Some projects I completed, some projects were ongoing. Never Rajshekhar Reddy destroyed. Immediately he succeeded. Then after that, Rosaiya, Kiran Kumar Reddy, KCR, now Revant. All chief ministers.
He also has another allegation to make on you. He says that basically you, because you were the political mentor to Revant Reddy, both of you have come together. You have pitted Sharmila against her own brother, and Sharmila is going to be the ultimate loser. She will lose her repository.
No, what I am saying, whether they lose or they gain or win, that's a different issue. Why they are fighting brother and sister? He has to answer that. Why you are blaming others? It is you. You denied any political accommodation to her. You used her and throw her away. Now she is blaming that you didn't give any property. In Andhra, there is equal right in ancestral property.
Since you have seen that regime, who do you think is the actual heir of Rajashekhar Reddy? Is it his daughter or is it Jagan Mohan Reddy? What do you think? You have seen Rajashekhar Reddy for a very long time.
That they have to decide.
Also, I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions as well now. The Prime Minister also spoke about the fact that whenever you distribute freebies, you actually create a culture that you put burden on the common taxpayers. Jagan Mohan Reddy is known to have a lot of freebies, which the Prime Minister also calls that as a huge burden on the economy. What do you think about the culture of freebies?
No, always welfare and development has to go together. Without development, you cannot create wealth. You won't create wealth, you may not get revenue. Borrowing, going on borrowing, then you may not borrow further. Even banks may not finance. He is a typical personality. He is only pressing button. He is claiming that is a great job he has done. Even to press that button, even our grandmother, she will do. Where is the need for a chief minister to do this type of DBT? DBT everybody is doing now. Even PM also doing.
Right.
PM never said I have done DBT so many times. Even only farmers they are giving all over the world, all over the country.
Right.
So many programs, it is an ongoing DBT program. Even I gave that report, digital currency. He is saying that is a great achievement he has done. That is only the single achievement.
Right. Now speaking of the Prime Minister, you of course walked out of the NDA alliance in 2019. You were part of the alliance in 2014. Why have you come back to the NDA fold, sir? Is it for the state of Andhra Pradesh or is it for your own selfish political interest?
We don't have any selfish political interests. Andhra Pradesh is in doldrums. He borrowed nearly 30 to 14 lakh crores. He mortgaged collectorates. He has taken money by pledging excise income for next 25 years.
At one point in time, Andhra Pradesh was known as entrepreneurs, Andhra, the kind of development you really see. Now that you don't have too much of companies coming, jobs is something which a lot of people on ground have told us. Is that going to be your biggest focus area if you come to power?
No, what I am saying, as a chief minister, we have to attract investments. You have to create positive environment. even Amaravati. It is a very important capital. After 10 years, he is talking about 3 capitals. Who are the losers? State is the loser. Always, any capital for that matter, it is the center for wealth creation, employment generation, and revenue generation. Now, after 10 years, he is saying 3 capitals. Nothing has been done. Even there is no confidence that he will do something.
Also, I must ask you this very important question. We've seen what's happening in the political scenario nationally. You have parties that are talking about having a caste census in place. You have parties which are talking about giving reservation to Muslims. What do you have to say about issues like this, giving reservations to Muslims or even caste census?
No, we will protect that reservations for Muslims. We are doing that. Now I am doing skill census. Opportunities globally and locally and nationally. Then I want to build required skill for the individuals. If we do that, opportunities will be multifold.
Do you think this country needs to have any reservation on the basis of religion? Is that what is required, or the marginalized sections should get removed?
Ultimately, economic criteria will be the main criteria for reservation.
Also, what we have seen, the Congress parties have come out and really say is that they want to do a wealth, calculation. They want to do they probably were speaking on inheritance tax. So for example, suggesting to an extent that if your family has inherited some wealth, then 50% of that or something like that should go to the public. This has been slammed in a big way by the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and all the BJP leaders. What do you have to say about this kind of a thing?
No, ultimately, which is the better for India, we have to think. Now, thanks to technology, we can go different way of creating wealth. I can say one thing. We are all responsible in the initial stage. P3 model, public-private partnership.
So the question is that why should anybody know how my parents are earning money, how my parents have saved money? And because the Congress wants to do that kind of a survey, they want to do a survey of the wealth of the people of the country. And why should anybody take away my father's wealth from me?
No, what I am saying, that is vague. What I am saying now, empowerment with focus approach and for people, family members as a capital, people as capital. As on today we are thinking land is a capital, asset is a capital, or money is a capital. We have to change the approach. People as capital, investment on people, whether human resource development, skill upgradation, whatever, so many things. Then plan it accordingly. Top 10% of the high bracket to look after bottom 20-25% of the poor. Have a vision, short term, medium term, long term, how to empower them, how to bring them at par others, or empowering continuously above all.
You have always been, somebody who's favored the use of technology, but the way in which we see artificial intelligence being misused, for example, this recent video of Amit Shah being doctored by the Congress and used by the video being used by the Congress party to spread, fear about reservation. What do you have to say about this? When responsible parties are also using this such video.
No, always technology is having both sides. You are ahead, then some fellow will do mischief. This is where cyber security is very, very important. But nobody can stop the growth of technology, innovation technology. Now artificial intelligence. If you use artificial intelligence at most efficiently, all decisions will be 90% or 85% correct. Knowledge is available, tools are available, you can study, you keep the actual artificial intelligence, you can use it. Then how to replicate, how to use it in decision making is important. That can be done. If you do that,
But your, yeah, go on.
I am telling you one thing. IT, when we promoted IT, nobody understood the value of IT. Then I promoted. Then there was a bandwidth problem. Then I have going on pushing deregulation of telecommunication sector. I gave a report. It has happened. Then I used to say, don't do job seeker. You must be a job provider. That means entrepreneur. Slowly it has turned. Now artificial intelligence is come. Our Indian population youngsters, everybody is becoming entrepreneur. And decision making is very easy. And creating wealth, providing employment is become a big hand for Indians.
How do you see the future of the India Alliance? You know, they seem to be having a lot of differences. Do you think the India Alliance can come together and do anything? Because you know the other side of the coin as well.
No, I am in politics for the last 40 years. I have seen ups and downs. I have seen all political parties. Even National Front NTR started. At that time, BJP, left parties and central parties together. Then I created UF. We took support from Congress from outside, not in the cabinet. Then central government. Then again, I joined NDA. 6 years without taking any positions, I supported. So we had all this experience. Now Narendra Modi is doing good work. He is giving stable government. Because of that, India got recognition globally. Indians got recognition.
You know, his whole dream of talking about the fact that Viksit Bharat will happen by 2047. You have also been thinking ahead of your time. Do you think he has a vision in place for that when he speaks about a developed India by 2047? The Prime Minister's pitch for Viksit Bharat?
I am 100% confident. Only the economy globally, that means bigger economy, only India. India is growing reasonably well. For that, again, Prime Minister is giving proper leadership. If we do same thing, we will become one or two. Either first economy or second economy. And by default, Indians globally will be number one. Two angles. One is corporate governance, another is public governance. For that, two reasons. One is we are very strong in IT, that is the backbone for knowledge economy, and young population. Young populations are doing extremely well in entrepreneurship. Now AI has come. First mover advantage, automatically will get that advantage. So with all this background, now on service sector, knowledge economy, Indians are going to play very crucial role.
Also, my final question to you, you are voting on the 13th of May. Your exam result is going to be out on the 4th of June. What are the numbers that you are setting for TDP? Because you have elections both in the state as well as for parliament.
We are working 24 plus or 25 out of 25 MPs and assembly 160 plus.
Alright, that's quite a target that you set for yourself. We'll catch up with you again on the 4th of June. But after a long day of travel, we finally been able to get all the questions from Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who of course has been talking about a developed India, has been talking about a developed Andhra Pradesh, and also his focus has been on empowering the youth in particular. With me is Umesh Sharma, on board Payal Mehta for CNN News 18.